is live. Guilty.
Mr. Cosby.
As Bill Cosby faces the possibility of life in prison, lawyer Gloria Allred and a Cosby accuser are live on The View to talk about getting justice at last. Then,
Michael would represent me and represent me on some things, like with this crazy Stormy Daniels deal.
was the president's bombshell admission yesterday a huge win for Stormy Daniels? Her lawyer, Michael Avenatti's making his case live on The View. Plus, it's Feel Good Friday on View Your Deal. Biggs is manning the table as guest co-host. Let's start. Haynes, Paula Ferris, and Sunny Hostin. Now, let's get things started.
Good Friday crowd.
Is it us or is it just the weekends
I don't
around
know.
the corner? It's a
But
good Friday.
You're
Yeah,
in
it
for
is.
a really interesting show today.
Yes.
I'll get to that in a second. But Megan is visiting her father today. But joining us as guest co-host, please welcome the bubbler, the boy,
Hey.
the lovely and talented Jason Biggs.
Yes.
Thanks for having me back. Thank you.
Yeah, it's good to
So
have
you and your wife, Jenny Mullen?
Yeah, Mullen, that's fine.
Mullen?
Yeah, I'm sure she won't mind. She will.
So you just started hosting a new game show, My Partner Knows Best.
Yeah.
Tell us about it.
Yeah, it's on Lifetime. It's sort of a, oh, sure. There you go. You get to see some of that. It's sort of an updated newlywed game, you know.
This is happening too naturally in heels for you. It looks like you've done this before.
Yeah, I have done that numerous times. In fact, I think I did it once on this show, actually, not too long ago. Maybe you have footage. We'll get to that later.
Yeah.
But yeah, I've done it more times than I would like to admit, I think.
Well, okay, so you can catch My Partner Knows Best Wednesday nights on Lifetime. Congratulations.
Thank you.
That's nice.
Congratulations.
So, you know, this show's about hot topics, you know, but we have the major players of the hottest hot topics here live today. Gloria Allred, the lawyer who just got a guilty verdict in the Bill Cosby trial, is here. Very good. She's also brought with her one of Cosby's accusers, which we'll talk to her also. Plus, Stormy Daniels' lawyer, the very cute Michael Avenatti, is here.
Very cute.
He is cute.
He is very cute.
I mean, he's smart, but
Smart
he's
and cute.
Smart
It's
and cute. What a
You
good
guys
fellow.
can fight over him later. Fight over him later.
Yeah.
And lawyers are hot, though. Says the lawyer. Says the lawyer.
Alan Dershowitz. No.
Well,
So anyway, he's here to talk about, you know, about Trump now admitting, this is like Trump going wild, that his attorney, Michael Cohen, was representing him in the Stormy case. He admitted it on Fox. Oh, my God, I love it. It's like the greatest reality show that we've ever seen in our lives here.
I know.
And the other historic, of course, this is another historic hot topic. It's a day to be remembered because right now, North Korea and South Korea are declaring their war is finally over.
Thanks.
You know, I mean, if you look at the pictures are kind of great. No, my uncle Dickie, I had an Uncle Dickie.
He fought in the
He fought in the Korean War. Yeah.
Really?
And it was like, why are they doing that again? No, the family never understood that war, you know?
Yeah.
But the leaders, Kim Jong-un, you know, remember him? And Moon Jae-in from China both agreed to a common goal of denuclearization. Naturally, Trump is already taking credit. He's already saying he did it. I mean, I called him Rocket Man. That was provocative.
Yep.
Is that what he's claiming is his Nobel Prize?
Moon Jae-in, who you just mentioned, the South
South Korean president. He is thanking Trump for supporting the inter-Korean dialogue, as he said. But you got to look, not long ago, I mean, Kim Jong-un was threatening us with intercontinental ballistic missiles and testing hydrogen bombs. And then they get caught up in this war of words. Trump enlists these historic sanctions in February. Ivanka Trump meets with Moon.
Well, the sanctions were from 2006.
No, but they enlisted new sanctions this February, the toughest sanctions that they say on record when it comes to North Korea. And all of a sudden, we're on the cusp of,
and China got on board.
Of unprecedented talks.
This has little to do with Trump, in my opinion, because let's face it, China is responsible for 90% of North Korea's trade, and China never got on board before. This time, China got on board with the UN sanctions. These weren't U.S. sanctions; they were UN sanctions. And I think when China gets on board, and you're a 90% trade partner, what do? You have to come to the table. So I think the kudos goes to China.
Well, I actually think a little bit of both. I don't think you could subtract the effect that the U.S. had on this.
Calling him Rocket Man and
I'm not saying I agree with the tactics or I support them or even saw the strategy. I'm just saying with this amount of major players, I don't think you can take Trump out of the equation. I think China had a big part of it because they've always been on board and voted in favor of sanctions. They've never enforced them until now.
But you call it a strategy, but it could...
No, I said there might be a strategy. I just don't know if...
Yeah.
Strategic element for us. It's a big chess game. That
it almost seemed a little too easy for North Korea this time. You know, like just years and years. I mean, I don't want to diminish how important and profound this all is, but I don't know. I'll believe it. You know, let's see how time. I mean, look, my wife and I, we do handshake agreements all the time.
Oh, that's so nice.
And the next
we go to bed, and then the next morning,
exactly.
all bets are off.
Yeah. Sanctions or not.
Oh my God, sanctions are lifted.
Does she call you Kim Jong-un sometimes? Tell everyone what you've been up to, my dear.
Oh, you know, yesterday I was really thrilled to be a part of Share Your Glimmer, and it's Project Glimmer's Day of Empowerment that hosted a group of foster girls for an afternoon of career counseling, makeovers, headshots, tips for looking beyond graduation to a future of professional and personal success. And what was incredible, ladies, is the most often, the question they had most often, these girls, was, how do I care for myself? Self-care. I'm a mom. I'm in school. I have so much going on, and sometimes I just need time to myself. And isn't that a question that we all, you know, have?
We all struggle with that.
Yeah, and they wanted to know, how do I do it? And so I think it was really impactful and really powerful, and I was just thrilled to be a part of it on Disney's behalf. Yeah.
That's really great.
And since, by the way, May is Foster Care Awareness Month, these were foster girls, Disney and ABC have joined forces with Foster More to make sure foster kids and their families have the support and guidance to achieve their dreams. And to find more information on both organizations, they're both fantastic, please go to the View website.
Okay.
That's awesome.
So before we go, one more thing, and then we'll bring out our guests. The name of William and Kate's kid is Louis Arthur Charles is his name. Louis. There he is. Louis. Yeah.
Little Louis.
I was hoping she would hold out for Coolio or something that really...
Really jazzy. I
don't know.
Louis sounds kind of
Royal
French,
Highness
though.
King Coolio.
Louis is French. Louis is the French name. It's a Louis the 15th.
It's a tribute. It's Prince Philip's, I think, great-grandfather or grandfather.
Who was Greek.
Louis.
Who was Greek.
Louis. Yeah. It doesn't sound very
Nothing
royal
British
to
about
me.
that name.
You think
right
Coolio?
back. Arthur, maybe. King Arthur. King Arthur.
Next, Cosby faces justice. Lawyer Gloria Allred and a Cosby accuser are live on The View to talk about their mission to put him in prison for life. Next Next week, anything goes on The View. Because Kathy Griffin, Serena Williams, the cast of Jersey Shore, Priyanka Chopra, Meredith Vieira, and Charlize Theron are all hitting this table.
I'm so excited. Woo!
Next week on The View.
Bill Cosby, 3 words for you. Guilty, guilty, guilty!
Yeah, here it is, here it is. And today's New York Post reminds readers that there was a time when only, and this is interesting because the paper says it, I didn't make this up, only the Pope was more popular than Bill Cosby.
Wow. Wow.
But yesterday, the comedian once called America's dad was found guilty of sexual assault. And right now, we are joined by the attorney who represents multiple Cosby accusers, Gloria Allred. And joining us live from Las Vegas is one of his accusers, Lisa Lott Lublin. Welcome to the show, Lisa. Welcome, Gloria.
Thank you, Joy. Thank you, Joy.
So, you represent 33 Cosby's accusers, 3 of whom testified against him. Describe the emotion in the courtroom when he was found guilty.
Well, I think there was a lot of anticipation about what the verdict was going to be, and people inhaled, and many of the accusers could not believe what they were hearing because they did not expect him to be found guilty of all 3 charges of aggravated indecent sexual assault against Andrea Constant. And there was elation because women are now being believed in a court of law.
Right.
Not just on #MeToo, Joy, but they are where they have been under oath to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help them God, where they have subjected themselves, like my client, Lisa Lott Lublin, has, to a very vigorous and ugly cross-examination, smear campaign, which attempts to discredit her testimony and that of the other accusers. But she and the other 4, and also Andrea Constant, they withstood that withering cross-examination. They told what they said was their truth, and they fought back against that defense team and the cross-examination, and I believe that the jury believed them, and it's a beautiful thing to finally see women being believed.
That's right.
Yeah,
it certainly is.
You could see the emotion. They were just overcome with so much emotion, the accusers were, after the verdict was read. But Bill Cosby had an outburst in the courtroom yesterday. Can you tell us what happened?
Yes, it was during the argument where the prosecution wanted Bill Cosby's bail to be revoked. Or increased from $1 million upward because he has very huge net assets. And the prosecutor was suggesting that he might flee, that he has a private plane that he would have access to. And that's when Bill Cosby suddenly shouted out at a very inappropriate time that he called the prosecutor by a name that I won't repeat.
They said it on CNN.
Okay, well,
in open court.
Feel free to say it.
Yeah.
And he said he doesn't have a private jet, as though he was talking about somebody else when the prosecutor was referring to him.
He also started laughing at some point,
Yeah,
too.
laughing is a lot inappropriate. He clearly has an anger management problem, and we saw it there. Of course, he didn't testify under oath at this hearing. At the trial, he invoked his Fifth Amendment privilege against self-incrimination, which he had a right to do. But his testimony came in when he was under oath in the civil deposition in Andrea's civil lawsuit. And also, they heard the jury heard his interview with the police some years ago. So they did hear from him, but now they actually heard from him shouting in the courtroom, not the jury, but the judge and all the rest of us.
And not very smart right before sentencing.
Not smart, right.
Not smart.
Before the judge, who were we doing?
Not smart.
But by the way, the judge, however, did not increase his bail, did not revoke his bail, although he said the prosecutor could file a motion on that.
Yes.
He didn't think at this point that Mr. Cosby was a flight risk.
And released him on bail,
Is
which
he
was
gonna have
shocking to me.
He might be fitted for a GPS, is that right?
Yes, yes, and of course they took his passport as well, so he can't leave the country. But on the other hand, you know, we hope that he will not flee. And that he will be there to be accountable at sentencing. The judge talked about the fact that he's 80 years old, and his health and so forth. I still think he needs to be accountable. He hurt a woman, he drugged her, he sexually assaulted her when she was incapacitated. The jury so found. And I think it's time for him to be accountable, whatever his age is. He needs to step up, and he needs to be sentenced to at least some time in custody.
I agree.
Lisa, I have a question
question for you. You were teaching in your 6th grade class when the verdict came in. How did you hear the news and what was your reaction?
I got a call from my husband, Benjamin, and he said, there's a verdict, there's a verdict. Well, I immediately was like, let me know what it is, but call me back. I still had 15 minutes of class left before my lunch.
Wow.
And he ended up calling me about 3-4 minutes later, and he said, it's guilty, it's guilty. And I said, are you playing with me? And he says, no. And I said, are you sure? And he says, it's guilty, it's guilty. All 3 accounts. And when he said all 3 accounts, that's when I realized he was serious. This was it. This really happened. And I just responded with, you got to call in. I've got to get out of here, and I'll call you back. I jumped out of my seat. I kind of walked over to the phone, and I called my office manager, and I said, he's guilty. Cosby's guilty, and I've got to go. And she's like, is that a good thing? Because I started to well up and shaking and crying pretty much. And I said, yeah, it's a good thing, but I'm losing it, and I've got to go. So she said, go, go. She said, I've got you, just go. So I had like 10 minutes with the kids left, and I stopped for a moment, and I said, okay, I got to pull myself together before these kids see me falling apart. And I just turned around, hung up the phone, walked back to my desk. I pulled out my sub-notes. I grabbed my items. I looked at the clock, and it was pretty much time to go. And I told the kids, hey, have a great day, and I'll see you guys later. And shoot them out the room. And I collected my items and started walking out the door. And then the shaking and the nerves in my stomach just started turning and turning. And then I realized I was about to get in a car and drive home. And again, I had to say, look, you've got to pull yourself together here, because you're going to be on the road in a vehicle, and you don't even know what's happened in the last 2 minutes.
Lise?
You know, focus.
Lise, I thank you, one, for your bravery, and thank you for being here. You say that in 1989, Cosby offered to mentor you, yet invited you to a hotel, gave you a drink, then you blacked out and woke up 2 days later.
Wow.
When did you realize something was wrong? Can you take us back there?
Yeah, before I blacked out, he did ask me to sit with him, and I ended up sitting between his legs with my back to him, and he continued to stroke my hair back in a petting motion. And I remember sitting there and having a kind of a self-talk of saying to myself, what has this got to do with improvisation? I don't understand what's going on. This feels odd. I could feel his legs against my arms, and I didn't know if I should leave my arms to my side or if I should pick them up and put them on top. And even through that dialogue, it was like, this is so odd. I don't understand it. For me, I felt like it was 2 days later. I don't know how long it was, but I did wake up at home. And like I said, I thought I had gotten sick, and I was sleeping for 2 days.
Wow. Okay. All right. Well, Gloria and Lise are sticking around, and we'll be right back with more.
Friday on View Your Deal.
We're back with Gloria Allred, and joining us live from Las Vegas, one of Bill Cosby's accusers, Lise Lublin. Oh, like the city in Poland, Lublin.
Yeah.
You know, I have to ask you something, Gloria, because we've been reading a lot about these guys who were accused in the Me Too movement of trying to make a comeback. I was reading about Batali today, and people talk about Lauer and different people wanting to come back. What do you make of that? Do you think they should?
Well, I think each one has to be evaluated on the facts that are alleged and the person alleging them on the internet or elsewhere. Obviously, in the court of public opinion on #MeToo, there are no rules, there are no standards. There's no way of actually knowing.
But it is the court of public opinion we're talking about.
100%.
Because if they want to come back on television, I don't know if they can. Do you think?
Well, I think the public has decided that if there are enough women and the type of women that they will believe, then there will be consequences. for the person who was accused, even without any civil lawsuit being filed or adjudicated some way.
Right.
And they have to be accountable, by the way, even if they have assaulted other men.
Yeah, now,
so
Gloria,
that's what counts.
there's actually another one today. Former NBC News anchor Tom Brokaw was just accused of sexual assault by 2 women, one of whom was is former NBC News war correspondent Linda Vester. He has denied it. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, again, I do think that that has to be investigated and has to be evaluated. And I don't represent her, so I'm not going to take a position on that. But I do think that the claims have to be taken seriously. Women's word about what happened has to be taken seriously. And there have to be consequences if people believe it. That's all. This is now the age that women are not going to be silenced. They're not going to be intimidated. They're not going to be bullied by powerful figures. They are going to speak their truth. And now the question is, are they going to be believed? And how many women does it take to make accusations for one woman to be believed over the denial of a powerful man?
Right.
That's what is at issue
One of the victims,
not only this issue,
I was
but
watching
others.
one of the victims on TV, and she said it took a male comedian to start the whole thing off on Bill Cosby.
Hannibal Barris.
After all the women coming out against him, one male comedian started it.
One male African-American
Right, African-American comedian, that's right.
Yep.
Well, our thanks to Gloria Allred and Lise Lublin. Michael Avenatti is up next, and we'll be right back.
The View is sponsored by Easy Spirit. What moves you? Go to EasySpirit.com for your chance to win shoes for a year.
See.
Well, you know, there's always something brewing on the stormy front these days, from Michael Cohen pleading the Fifth to Donald Trump admitting that Cohen did indeed rep him in the Daniels case. Yeah. Here to give us on the latest dirt and details is our favorite TV guy now. I love you on television so much. The legal eagle, the always entertaining Michael Avenatti.
You know, Joy, you've set a very, very high bar for me here today.
But that you're cute?
Well.
That's well, everybody agrees.
I feel the love, Joy.
I'll take it.
Okay.
So you don't
Michael,
have to say
I think
anything.
you're very cute.
Well, I actually think you're much cuter than
Oh
I am.
my gosh. It's like a bromance.
Oh my God.
Friday.
Sonny's in the
So, all
middle.
right, let's
Things
talk
are a
about
little
Trump.
awkward now.
Let's talk about Trump and this little nugget he live dropped on his favorite show, Fox and Friends. Let's watch.
Michael would represent me and represent me on some things. He represents me, like with this crazy Stormy Daniels deal. He represented me, and you know, from what I see, he did absolutely nothing wrong.
At the end of the
Okay, so let me ask you something, because although he just admitted that Michael repped him, he never mentioned the $130,000 payoff. Does that give him wiggle room in his case and make yours a little weaker? What do you say?
Well, I don't think so, Joy.
No.
I mean, I think the problem is that the president has now contradicted his statements on April 5th or 6th on Air Force One, and also contradicted what Michael Cohen has been trying to sell the American people for weeks and months now, that namely he did this on his own and the president knew nothing about it. I mean, all you have to do is look at the host, the look on the face of the host on Fox and Friends. Even they knew how bad it was.
and
they didn't even know what to do. They were frozen. They knew exactly that he was in the process of blowing himself up, and that's exactly what he did.
But he didn't admit to knowing about the $130,000. He just said that there was this.
He repped him in the Stormy Daniels deal, he said.
But that's directly contrary to what he has stated previously, which is that he knew nothing about the agreement, knew nothing about the negotiation, knew nothing about the $130,000.
So we know he's a liar. So what? What
Wait,
are
I
you
have
going to
a
do with
question,
that?
though, that kind of
No,
relates
really,
to that.
what's going to happen? Is he really going to be? It's not perjury. It's not under oath.
Well, not yet. And I think that's the key, Joy. I think that this statement on Fox and Friends adds further foundation for our attempt to try to depose the president and place him under oath so that he can pick one of the stories that we've been told that the American people
Michael,
need.
It can be tested.
You mentioned, though, the comments he made on Air Force One when he said he didn't know about the payment. Can a lawyer even legally pay something out without consent from your client?
No, absolutely not. And in fact, it's unheard of, no matter how good a lawyer you have or how close a lawyer you have, and you know this, you don't normally pay $130,000 on behalf of a client
And take it
not
out of
tell
your
him.
home equity line.
Right, with your wife signing on home equity
Would you do
line.
it? I wouldn't do it.
I wouldn't do it. I might do it for you, but other than that.
Can I interject something on that? Because I was reading that Michael Cohen is loaded. He has a lot of real estate, and he's a lot of money.
He only has 2 clients.
But he still has a lot of money in real estate.
No, 3 if you count Mr. Hannity.
We'll get to that. 3. But he has a lot of real estate money, I understand. This is what I'm reading, I'm allegedly. So why did he have to get a home equity loan?
You know, Joy, I think that's an excellent question.
Yeah.
I think that's one of the questions we're going to ask him when he takes his deposition under oath. You know, it's one thing to make statements to the press and to the public. It's an entirely different thing when you have to raise your right hand and actually testify under oath.
Right.
Michael, I have to ask. So Trump said that Michael Cohen represented, quote, a tiny, tiny little fraction of his legal work. So how much will attorney-client privilege come into play here, right? How much will it help him if Cohen only worked for him just a tiny, tiny little bit?
Well, I think that's an excellent question. I mean, the problem is that at the same time that Donald Trump is claiming that Michael Cohen did such little work for him, to the contrary, you have Michael Cohen and his attorneys trying to claim that all of their communications are covered by the attorney-client privilege, which means they're confidential, which means that prosecutors and investigators and me cannot look at them. The problem is that Donald Trump has now undercut that argument, and the sphere of documents that are protected has been shrunk significantly, which cannot be a good thing for Michael Cohen and cannot be a good thing for the president.
People talking to a lawyer like me talking to you now, I don't have privilege with you.
No, the only way that we have privilege is if you are communicating with me or vice versa in furtherance of legal services.
Okay.
I will give you privilege if you talk to me right now. I will totally.
Okay, Michael,
but you're not a lawyer.
Sticking around, and we will be right back.
Griffin is live on The View. How she handled the brutal backlash from the controversial Trump photo shoot that almost killed her career.
There's a bunch of old white guys trying to silence me, and I'm just here to say that's wrong.
And why she's still not shying away from taking on the president.
Welcome back. We're back with Michael Avenatti. And for me, Michael, it's all about campaign finance law and whether or not that was broken by the payment Michael Cohen made to Stormy Daniels a few weeks before the election. Has the money trail led you anywhere? Have you found any links?
Well, we haven't found any concrete links from a documentation standpoint, but I am confident that when we get to the bottom of this, and we are going to get to the bottom of this, this case is not going to be settled or dismissed until we get to the bottom of it. I'm confident that we are going to discover that the president knew about the agreement, knew about the $130,000, either contemporaneous with the payment or shortly thereafter, in which case the president is going to have a very serious issue relating to campaign finance violations.
Because that's illegal.
That's illegal, correct.
I have to ask you, last week you were on the show and you exclusively revealed the sketch of this man that allegedly threatened Stormy Daniels in a parking lot. I need you to explain the timeline for me. So it's 2011. She does an interview with In Touch magazine with these salacious allegations about this affair with Donald Trump, right? And then a couple weeks later, she's threatened, allegedly, correct?
Well, not exactly. She provides the interview.
Which is, yes, but she provides the interview and then she's threatened, correct?
Okay. That's correct.
Okay,
but there's a number of things in between.
Okay, that's fine. But my question is, and I need you to explain this. She's threatened. She says she doesn't tell her husband because he doesn't know about the affair. But she's already done this interview. So I just want to know, like, what kind of person is going to sell their story? She has already sold her story. And it's about ready to go public before they even tell their husband about the affair. That's what I can't wrap my mind around.
That's not exactly what happened. What happened was her ex-husband went and sold the story to In Touch, and In Touch came to her and said, look, we're going to run the story with or without you, so you can either cooperate or not cooperate. But either way, we're running the story. So she decided to go ahead and cooperate. So she cooperated and gave a statement to In Touch. In Touch then sent her for a polygraph examination in Vegas. She passed that with flying colors. They were then considering whether to run the story. They approached the Trump organization. They were threatened by the Trump organization and by Michael Cohen, and they decided to kill the story. But before they killed the story, that's when the assault happened. That's when this assailant came up to her with her young daughter in the back of the car. That was the timeline. She had not had a chance to tell her current husband because she did not know if they were going to actually run the story. That's what happened.
Does that answer your question?
It does answer the question, but still no mention when she brought these allegations about what had happened in 2016 right before the election. Still, she never even mentioned the threat to any of the news organizations. It's just
I don't know that to actually be true or not. I know that in 2016 she was considering going on. I think it was Good Morning America at the time. The Trump organization found out about it, and that's when they approached her and had her sign the NDA and leaned on her effectively.
She will bring him down, if anybody, is Stormy Daniels.
Well, I think, Joy, I think you're absolutely right. I mean, I don't want to lose track of why we're really here today talking about this. I mean, we're here today talking about this because of the courage, intelligence, and fortitude of Stormy Daniels. And I'm going to say that I think she will go down in modern history as one of the most incredible women to stand up to men in power.
I got to go, Michael. All the women are brave today. Thanks to Michael Avenatti. We'll be right back.
Thank you, Michael. Next, it's Feel Good Friday on View Your Deal. We partnered with vendors for at least half off stuff that'll get you hot and chill you out.
Off your weekend with a smile, because we partner with vendors for at least half off products you're gonna love while supplies last. Here to show them off, please welcome lifestyle expert and my friend Greta Monahan.
Hi, darling. I love Feel Good Fridays with you.
I know, and this is my favorite Do Your Deal because it all comes with a cause.
Yes, it does. I mean, really creative people doing great things with products and brands, and so I get to bring them all to you, and I'm so excited. I love them. Okay, first one up. You know this company, Packet, and basically it's skip the plastic and paper and really use a bag that keeps your food cool and fresh for the long haul. These are amazing. So these are Packet bags. They actually come with a freezer gel built in, so we can skip the messy packs. You know, the ice packs that we typically put in. They get wet, they drip. It's no good. And it's amazing because I love the line, but there's 3 new ones today. This is the bento slash lunchbox.
Okay.
Comes with a little reusable container, really cool. You just pop these into the freezer, you guys, and overnight they're totally frozen and ready to go. They keep everything fresh. Also backpack and now grocery bag.
I love this
prices on
bag.
these today. Love the grocery. $15 to $30. Today's deal, $7.50 to $15 bucks. For a savings of 50% off. Okay, Bright Endeavors. These are soy candles. So Bright Endeavors operates a job training program for young moms, 16 to 24. So it's in Chicago, and they handcraft premium soy candles. This training program offers assistance with resumes, interviewing, finances, everything a young mom needs to get back out there in a strong way. So it's really meaningful. The candles come in 8 to 11 ounces, but here's the thing, every candle is signed.
Yeah, we just saw
by the mom who crafted it.
Angel.
Isn't that cool? And
Angel wrote, she did this
amazing. So it's really personal, it's meaningful, makes a meaningful gift. Lime, lemongrass, lavender sprig, amazing scents, you guys. Original price on these, $13 to $25. Today's deal, $6.50 to $12.50 to do something amazing.
Yeah, it's
50% off. It's half off for us.
These are so cute.
Remember Me green pouches and bags. I love these. Okay, so these are recycled bags, you guys, made from billboards right here in New York. They're made in New York State, which I love. And these durable bags are great for carrying necessities. Look at how super huge and roomy they are. Running errands, beach, trips this summer. They are lightweight, they weigh nothing, and they carry everything. Makeup pouch, medium tote bag, and large tote bag today I have for you.
Resting beach face.
How cute is that? And they're great
I'm
gifts
getting that
they're
from my
fun.
brother.
They feel good phrases and fun phrases, which make us feel good. Original price on these
are
$40 to $130. Today's deal, $18 to $65.
And this
is
saving not getting messy with sand.
Oh my God! You know what? And it's good meaning.
You break it, you buy it here at the View.
I'm taking mine over here. Okay, Little Words Project. Friendship bracelet. So founded by a young woman who was bullied, Little Words Project was created to inspire a culture of kindness among women, young and old. So because of her experience, she founded this. But here's what's cool. We love bracelets, we love bling. Not only are they adorable, but this is a pay-it-forward accessory. We're meant to wear it in like the tradition of friendship bracelets. When you pass it on, it has a little tag that has a tracker in it so that you can actually download the app or go on the website and watch where it's passed on to. Isn't that cool? As an act of kindness. So it's really cool and sweet. I love these. These are great gifts.
Hope, be happy, believe, all these great.
Original price on these, $18 to $22. You can't afford not to give them at $9 to $11 for a savings of 50%, and they come in that adorable little pouch. That's why they're great gifts. Makeup eraser,
we were just
makeup
talking about this.
So you can save face with makeup eraser. Get it?
I saw what you did there.
Basically, these are amazing because you're going to skip using disposable wipes. 2 Too expensive, not good for the environment. What you do with this is all you do is wet this, Sarah.
I was
You
gonna say, it's
soak
not
it
working.
and you take it off. And here's the thing, how does it feel on your skin?
It's so soft.
This is much healthier for your skin, actually, than a wipe that has a lot of, preservatives in it, or even just soap. It dries our skin out. So these are incredible. They even take off waterproof
and
makeup.
eco-friendly because we throw
All
away
different
so many
sizes,
cotton
shapes,
balls.
And yes, and today, the new watermelon collection. I told you I was bringing you new stuff. The watermelon collection is so cool. New prints and patterns. I love it. I can't live without these. Original price on these, $20 to $50, because you can reuse them up to 1,000 times and just throw them in the washer. Today's deal, $10 to $15 for a savings of 50 to 70% off.
Which one do you like, the glove or do you like the towel?
I use the glove, and don't laugh, my husband Ricky uses this one because he has sensitive skin.
Ricky is pretty, though.
Ricky
He's
is
so
pretty. Yes, he loves makeup eraser. Okay, Roomy baggies and totes. So
these come in handy.
Roomy stands for Reuse Me, and these reusable bags are always in style. Again, we're trying to do good things for our planet. Keep them folded in the car, home, or desk, and you're always ready to carry them off. But here's the thing, you guys. Look at how tiny they fold up and go. So the thing here is you've got cool styles. This is great to wear right around in the park or on errands, and they are weightless. I use this, Sarah, as my baby bag. I dumped my baby bag because it was too heavy on my stroller. The whole stroller was tipping over. And the best part, you can machine wash them. They're water resistant. They go anywhere.
And you can pack a bunch for one trip to the store, which is not like the heavy eco bag.
Absolutely. They're just so easy. For kids, great for travel, great for everybody. Original price on these, $9 to $17. I mean, I can't believe it. $450 to $850. Cut in half for us, and we're doing good.
Yeah, and there's nothing better than paying it forward. So shop today for a good cause. Thank you so much, Brett Amani, and for everything. You have the clock is ticking 24 hours to grab any of these exclusive deals at viewyourdeal.com.